In this last video, I'm going to go over some citation information that'll be helpful for you for this project. Um, so we're going to briefly go over the importance of citing and citing correctly, which should be helpful for you for this project and just in general. And then if you have any questions about any of the content that I went over in any of these videos or anything library related that I can help you with, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Okay, so what is the importance of citing? There's a whole bunch of different reasons just beyond avoiding plagiarism, although that's important too. So ethical reasons, to build stronger arguments, to show and check your work, and to also participate in an academic conversation. So as you get your job in your intended field, people aren't going to want to publish you if you're not citing things correctly, right? So you want to give credit where credit's due, so other researchers can check what you've researched and follow your research that way. So you want to make sure that everything's cited correctly so they're able to locate those items to avoid plagiarism. So you guys as students, you might get a 0 on an assignment, you might get kicked out of a class, you might get expelled. But in the professional field, if you plagiarize, it could have a whole bunch of other consequences that are also negative, right? You might not get something published. Maybe they don't want you to present at conferences. A whole bunch of negative consequences that we just rather avoid, right? But also to show your due diligence. It's not just the negative side of things, but all these different reasons that you want to make sure that you are citing things and citing them correctly. So plagiarism is the act of taking someone else's words or ideas and using them as your own, but it could still count as plagiarism even if it's not intentional. So copying and pasting any information, anything that you don't think of completely on your own, it's better to oversight than undercite. So any numbers or statistics, quotes, even if you reword it, if it didn't come out of your brain, cite the source that you got it from. Okay, so this is a basic journal article citation format for APA. You want to know the authors, the year it was published, the title of the article, the title of the periodical, so the journal title, volume number, issue number, the pages. So the DOI too, if you don't know what that is the digital object identifier. So that's a really cool trick to know too, because it's a string of numbers, letters, and symbols used to permanently identify an article or document and link to it on the web. So if you do find a research article with a DOI, you can literally Google that DOI and it should pull up that specific article. I'm not going to go over the interactive assignment I had planned for this, but I will show you other things to make sure where you want to go to check your citation information. Okay, I can show you quickly though. If you want to do it on your own, you're welcome to. Can I make this larger without messing it up? Hold on one second. Okay, I'll just quickly talk through the exercise I would have had you do. So you can actually find all the citation information up here in the left. It can be kind of confusing if you're not sure what to look for, but this is actually the title here. This would be the author, Stephen Wolf. Here's the DOI, so that's what I was talking about with the numbers and letters right there. Health Affairs is actually the journal title, and then we see the volume and the issue number here, which you don't need to memorize every specific situation where something might be slightly differently, and that's the point of looking at Purdue OWL, but it does help if you get that basic APA journal article citation format kind of in your mind, the pieces that you need to find that. because then you can know at a glance if something's incorrect, and you can also know at a glance, oh, that's the issue number, and that's the volume number, and that's the pages. Um, so here would be the pages, that's the year it was published. Um, some people get kind of confused with this, where they think this Pursuing Health Equity is the journal title, and that's not the case. It's a little bit confusing just to look at, but we can see down here, Health Affairs again is the journal title in this instance. So that's kind of intentionally tricky, um, but sometimes it's just worth a second glance to make sure that you are picking the right components to create your citation correctly. Okay, so if you can see this here, if I use this statement here, what would I cite? So we just created a citation for this article. But if you can see the little number 1 right here, that might be referred to as a footnote or an endnote. So in that instance, you want to look either at the end of the page or at the end of the article itself, but we want to find the citation related to that number 1. Okay? So here's the corresponding citation to number 1. So we would actually want to cite this article instead of the previous one if we are using information with that 1 footnote. Does that make sense? Hopefully. So same thing with these other numbers. And then if that's an important piece that we want to use and reference in our article, right, or our presentation, you might want to look up this article and see if there's additional information that you could use. So since we know basic citation format, we have the title and the journal title, the year it was published, the volume and the issue, and the pages it appears on. So then we could search for this exact article. Let me show you how to do that. Hold on, let me pause this really quick. Okay, so just to be brief, I went back to the main library homepage, and I'm going to show you 2 different ways I could access that article using the citation information. I'm not going to click on it because I know that this one works the other way. It's a little bit more intuitive, but if the article name or the author name is unique enough, you may be able to get it to just come up using this one search bar, which I will show you. And the other option would be to click on this eJournal portal, and then I could search for the specific journal that the article was found in. So in this instance, it was Health Psychology, and then I could look up that specific volume and that specific issue and those specific pages and find it that way. So it is a little bit, it's a couple extra steps, but the other option we would have would be to search for part of the title and or author. If it's unique enough, it may come up this way. So I got lucky with my example. Here's this article. I'm going to click on full text online. Okay, so similar to what I showed you in the past videos, this is the article below, but if there's a PDF full text option, that'll give me the print ready, cleaner version of the article. So both of those tools are helpful and good to know about, and hopefully that gives you just another resource to know about. Let me go back. If you guys didn't see the library research guides related to this course, I'll show you that again. So view research guides here. As a reminder, there's not a specific Health 3000 one, but there is a Health and Human Performance guide. So this is a good place to go to look for relevant information for your courses. In the APA citation tab, it gives you some basic APA citation formations, and there's tutorials you can go through if you'd like. So this is all really good information if you think it would be helpful. There's also the APA formatting and style guide with Purdue OWL. I'm going to just Google Purdue OWL APA in case you haven't been here before. Purdue OWL is where you want to go to check citation, anything for the most updated, relevant content. I would ignore their basic automatic citation generator at the top here. I just want to let you guys know, if you haven't used it before, or even if you have, even though the ads and things look a little iffy maybe, this is really good content. Just kind of ignore this stuff at the top of the page, okay? So different things of note, it can be kind of confusing searching through Purdue OWL, but you want to make sure that you're on the right little section to the left here. Sometimes I'll Google if you're not sure, like for example, okay, reference list basic rules. You want to make sure you're under the right citation format, so want to make sure that I'm still in APA here. Okay, so you can see that I am. And then there's all these different options. So general format, in-text citations, but those rules are going to be slightly different than the reference list at the end, okay? So in-text citations are the more brief parentheses with the author and the date, where the reference list is going to be your full list of citations at the end of your document. So I would encourage you to look through any of these. If you come across an article that you're just not sure exactly how to cite, maybe with a whole bunch of different authors, or something like that, you could also briefly Google what you're trying to find. So like Purdue OWL, APA multiple authors. So don't write a whole like paragraph about it, but what do you want to find? Just make sure you're clicking on the right selection here. So for example, I just clicked on in-text citations. So if you don't want in-text citations, but instead want the reference list for multiple authors, you'd be in the incorrect section, if that makes sense. So just verify on the left here that you're in the right, and it put me in the wrong style too. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. So just all that to say, make sure that you're clicking on the right thing, because it can be confusing to navigate around here. So yeah, that was the wrong one anyway. So it'll give you all these different situations where your citation is going to be slightly different. Just verify on the left that you're in the right citation format and you're looking at what you want to look at. And they also have great examples too. So you can look at sample pages, overall APA format rules. So I'd encourage you to check this out on your own and then ask any additional clarifying questions if you can't figure something out. But definitely refer back to Purdue OWL for any of your rules that you might be confused about or not sure about, okay? And please don't hesitate to reach out to me additionally for this class or anything else library related, and I'd be happy to help you or direct you in the right direction. So hope this was helpful, and thanks for having me virtually.